A rising star in the Liberal, well, a former rising star in the Liberal Party has now become a rising star in the Conservative Party. Just a few hours ago, Leona Alleslev, the MP for Oak Ridge's Richmond Hill, crossed the floor of the House of Commons to join the opposition benches and is now a Conservative, and she left, leaving Justin, the long-haired, two-timing Mac Daddy, son of Satan Trudeau's blood drippings in her trail. Slammed him on Twitter, slammed him publicly. On Twitter, she says, to all Canadians, do not accept the status quo. Have the courage to do what is right, not what is easy. Our country is at stake, and she couldn't be more right. I mean, she hit it right on the head, and I congratulate Leona Alleslev for doing the right thing. I hope more of these center-leaning classical liberals come to the conservative side, because what you'll have to understand is that the Liberal Party of Canada is not Jean Chrétien's party, it's not Paul Martin's party, it's not Wilfrid Laurier's party, it's not W.L. King's party, it's not Louis St. Laurent's party. It is a party run by a two-timing son of Satan Mac Daddy named Justin Castro. And he is not a classical liberal. He is nothing. Freedom is and Canadianism is nowhere in his DNA. He's a globalist. He is a jet setter, and he's an idiot. He's a son of Satan. He's a Mac Daddy. He's been destroying this country. He is an elitist. He's a New World Order, Illuminati. That's what he is. The Mac Daddy, son of Satan. And now Leona Alleslev has realized that. So rising in, according to the Toronto Sun, rising in the Commons on a point of personal privilege, Alleslev slammed the Liberals for failing to live up to the promises made by, they call him Prime Minister, but I call him the long-haired Mac Daddy, Justin Trudeau, leaving average Canadians to despair that their tomorrow will not be better than today, and that their children's future will not be better than theirs. If you all remember, the son of Satan was on an escalator during the past 2015 election, where he was basically demonstrating how people are just being left behind. They're not able to move forward. And he promised he'd move everybody forward. He would move the whole country forward. We're all of us are going backwards. He'd be the middle-class prime minister, even though before him, we had the richest middle class in the country, and now we have lost that. We've completely lost that. Canadians have lost the status as having the richest middle class. It's gone. So that's one of the things that he has failed to produce. The middle class is doing worse off under him than they were under Harper, and even under Paul Martin and John Chrétien and all the other prime ministers. My attempts to raise my concerns with this government were met with silence, said Alleslev. The government must be challenged openly and publicly. But for me to publicly criticize the government as a liberal would undermine the government and, according to my code of conduct, be dishonorable. Unquote. Quote, my oath is to country, not party, and my sacred obligation is to serve my constituents, said Alleslev, unquote. And then another quote, my duty is to stand and be counted. I guess this is a typo. I mean, this is supposed to be a newspaper, and they're making typos like this. I must do what is right, not what is easy. So she was a big Mac Daddy supporter in 2015, but I applaud her. I applaud her, and I applaud other former liberals or Mac Daddy whores. And I don't mean women. When I say whores, I don't mean women. Y'all don't start jumping up on me. In fact, men Trudeau supporters are bigger whores than women Trudeau supporters. And the women Trudeau supporters have more balls and more guts than the men ones. I mean, you see some of these. But anyway, let's forget about that. I didn't say that because of women or anything, so don't start jumping up on me on that. But to all the former Trudeau whores, men and women, the Trudeau fans who just, lapped up everything this son of Satan said, and who have been transformed and who have seen the light, even if they haven't necessarily gone to the conservatives, which would be ideal, but who have just said, you know what, we're done with this. We're not following this son of Satan to hell anymore. We're not going to listen to this Matt Daddy anymore. We're not going to do it anymore. We're not going to be pimped out anymore. We're not going to be slaves anymore. And some of those people I have personally transformed, and you know who you are, and you've written me letters and told me that I was a liberal, and because I listened to the Iranian nation, I have understood and seen that this is not the choice that I should have made. To all of you, I salute you. I say yay and amen, and boom, shakalaka goes right there. And Leona Alleslev is a hero. She is a goddess. I applaud her. She's doing well, and she's doing this for her country. She's not bound by any party. She's no coward. She's doing what is right. She's doing what is just for her country, which is dead, I must say. And she is helping all good and wise people to make sure and ensure that this son of Satan, this long-haired Matt Daddy, loses. And when I say lose, I don't mean lose the election. I mean, I think that's a lot for him. I mean, he's, the conservatives are playing the fool right now, splitting up the vote and everything like that. I'm not talking about losing election. I'm talking about losing in life. Losing the fight to completely kill off this country. He is going to lose in that. Whether he ends up winning next year, but loses down the road, or loses in 2019, which, with the way these bad attitude so-called conservatives are acting, seems less likely. But whether or not it's next year or sometime down the road, Leona Alleslev and all you former Trudeau supporters are making sure that sooner or later this son of Satan is thrown back into the pit of hell where he belongs. And I applaud Leona Alleslev. Now the article continues. I'll just finish this up. The 50-year-old Alleslev is a bona fide scorer for the Conservatives, and her departure is a huge blow to the Liberals. A little bit about her. She graduated from the Royal Military College. She served as logistics officer in the Royal Canadian Air Force, retiring with the rank of captain, and then held a leadership position with the Department of National Defense, as well as senior management roles with IBM and Bombardier. So she's a smart, sharp, solid woman, done well for herself. I mean, she's probably also upset with the fact she looks like she's very close with it in military matters, and it looks like she is upset. Maybe she might be upset with the fact that Justin, the long-haired, two-timing Canadian betraying son of Satan, Matt Daddy Trudeau, has given billions and billions of dollars to just about anybody outside of Canada, but turns around to the military veterans and say that they're asking for too much and forcing them to sue their own government to get their basic benefits. She's probably steaming about that. It looks like she's very close to the military and all that sort of stuff. So that's another reason. So it looks like the Matt Daddy is losing supporters left, right, and center, and I say yay and amen. I would say that if the Matt Daddy loses next year, I'm not going to blame his whores, his supporters. I'm going to blame the conservatives. You bad attitude conservatives. That's who I'm going to blame. I'm going to blame them. Listen, if the conservatives are united, there's nothing stopping us from banishing the Mac Daddy back where he belongs, in hell. There's nothing stopping us if we're united. When we're united, there's nothing that's going to stop him. He does not have the amount of support that he once had. He is losing it. But if he wins again, I blame wholeheartedly you bad attitude, hard-headed as coconuts, can't tell you anything conservatives who think that they can just do whatever they want, split up, do all this sort of foolishness, divide up the party and all this sort of stuff, and have the Matt Daddy go up the middle. That's who I'm blaming. I put the blame squarely on them, is who I put the blame on. I mean, that's the only people I put the blame on. And one more thing about this whole leadership thing, I've always said that if you're not happy with the leader that you are with, whether it's Andrew Scheer or whatever, there are ways you can get rid of the leader. You can go to leadership leadership policy conventions. You can do all sorts of stuff and get rid of them from the inside. If enough people do that, just like a lot, look at what they did to Thomas Mulcair. They got rid of him. They didn't split up or anything. They got rid of him from the inside. There are ways you can do that. But playing the fool, splitting up the fool, that's nonsense. That's complete nonsense. So you have the opportunity. You're gonna let's see if they decide to blow it once again. These conservatives who are very good at blowing elections in this country, they can win anything if you gave them the answer book. But this is about Leona Alleslev or whatever her name is. Thank you, and God bless you. You are a patriot. And with that being said, this is the Nation.